Hi, it's a grey, cold old day in our Melbourne studio today, and I want to show you a really quick technique for making beds. I know that lots of people like to go and create their bed settings out of sets that they get in the stores, and that people like things to be in fashion and on trend. But this technique allows us to use things that we may already have, and as decorators we get to really think about our spend. So we think about how we want to make the most of our money, and where we can skimp and where we can save, where we can find budget items that will do the trick, and what is really worth investing in. So the first thing that I want to let you know about making a bed and styling techniques for making beds is that we do really encourage quality bed linen for your bed. And when I mean quality bed linen, I mean something that's made out of cotton or linen, a natural fibre. And the reason is that you sleep really well. So function obviously comes first, and sleeping is really important. And when we have a natural fibre, our body's able to sweat and sleep really nicely, rather than some of the man-made fibres, which aren't as good for us. So I recommend a natural fibre. One of the other things that's good about natural fibres is that longevity, and you really should get years and years and years out of a good cotton or linen bedspread. I know that I've had some for over 10 years and they're still going strong. So it is really worth investing in nice bed linen. It doesn't mean that it has to be expensive, because the bed linen stores are often basing their designs around current trends. You can often go in and pick up a really, really nice quality bed linen item for the last from the last season that's on its way out the door. So don't necessarily spend a lot of money, but do look for quality. You want natural fibre. Really, really recommend that. Another thing that I want to point out is that a way to store our bed linen, I know that organising is actually a really important way to think about, to actually refresh and feel organised and feel good about ourselves. And so one little organising technique is that we can store our bed linen, our doona cover, inside a pillowcase. So this one here is actually a queen size doona cover, and it's just been stored inside the pillowcase and folded up and then just stored, and that just goes neatly onto the shelf in our linen cupboard and stores really nice and neatly. It's got the pillowcases in it, it's got the doona cover in it, so when you're ready for that set, you just pull that out. Another thing that I would like to point out is pillowcases. A really nice way of actually creating different looks for different seasons and feeling refreshed and enjoying a different look on our bed is to use different pillowcases. And we can do that really easily by finding just different sets, different colorings in the stores when they're available. Again, doesn't have to be expensive. Sometimes we can find things on sale and just add them to our collection, which means that when we go to make our bed, we can mix and match different things. So it actually gives us a really nice soft look when things are coordinated and when they come from different places, rather than whole sets of things. So that's my personal preference, is that I like to mix and match things. So that's a European pillowcase. Again, it's a cotton. It's a really nice quality, but I actually got that in the discount bin when it was going out. So that one was about $5, reduced from $50. So then when it comes to our actual pillows and things, I'm going to stand up to show you some of these. We've got a couple of options. So this is a European pillow that's just straight out of the packet. It's a fibre pillow, and it's really great when we're styling a bed to use pillows that are really full, because they give us that full, plush, really fresh look. One of the things about pillows when they come out of the packet is that they look really good and they're fresh and full, but when you have used them for a while, when they're fibre, they get really flat. I don't know if you've seen that, how your pillows and cushions on your couch as well, when they've got a fibre infill, which is just polyester, it just flattens down, it gets lumpy, and actually your cushion doesn't look all that great any longer when it could look amazing. And the way that it can look amazing is by using a feather insert, and that's this one here. Now these feather inserts are a little bit more expensive to buy in the first place, but rather than having to continue to renew them to get that fresh plump look from your bed linen, you will be able to use this for years and years. This is a European pillow as well, and you can see that it's just full of feathers. I've regularly got feathers around my house and need to vacuum after I've done my bed linen, but it's just lovely and full and gives you a really soft look. And this is what the European pillowcase that I just showed you in the feather looks like, and you've got the ability really to squash it and move it and tweak it when it's on the bed, and so it looks really plump, really full. These sorts of things are really important when it comes to the final product of making your bed. When it comes to trends, we find that we can get some really fun looks from using the current colours and the current trends that are around. But instead of encouraging people to go and fully replace the items that they have, which are, I've already said, we've got some quality bed linen there. We've got our pillows, which have got the feather inserts in them, which are going to last for a long time, years and years. So we've got items that we already own, that we love, and what I'd really encourage you to do then is, when you're wanting those fun, fresh looks, to go and accessorize with the trends and not necessarily spend a lot of money. So things like our throw blankets, these change regularly in terms of what's in and what's fun to use. Things like the pom-poms at the moment are really fun. They don't have to cost a lot of money. They can be budget options, but once they go on the bed, they look really great and give you that new feel to them. And cushions are the other thing. So what's important about styling beds is that we get lots of layers, and the layers create texture and they create interest in a space. And actually that's true of anything in our interiors, whether it's our furniture, or whether it's how we style our artwork and things like that. So in the demonstration of making a bed, I've actually included putting some artwork up and also adding a few layers in, so that you can see how important it is to incorporate texture. I haven't used a great deal of colour in this particular bed linen example. I've just used the bed linen that I already have. And so it's quite soft, but then when we add lots of texture into natural fibres and plants and things like that we have around the house, then we get a really full look, and the full look is really interesting to us, to our eye. That helps things to look intentional. And I talk about things being intentional a lot, because when you intend to do something, it looks like you've actually done it for a reason and a purpose, and then it looks good to the eye. It actually doesn't look like a mistake. It looks like it was intended, and that's got a confidence statement to it. So I really encourage you to do things with intention. Something that we do when we are colour blocking in our bedding is we try to include some colours from our bed linen onto the wall into our artwork, and this actually helps to tie things all together and create a look that looks really unified. And so if we choose to put different pieces onto the bed, it might be different coloured cushions, then somewhere those colours have got to actually come together and tie together. And in my demonstration, I've actually shown you how to incorporate a tan cushion, which is very trendy at the moment. It wasn't an expensive cushion, it was just from a budget store, and incorporate it into my quality bed linen, just to put a different colour that you wouldn't normally expect to see there. And then how I've used a throw at the end of the bed just to actually tie those things together. And you'll see that you've got the colourings actually tying together really nicely at the top and at the tail of the bed. That pulls the scheme together, and then you can do that with different things that are actually on trend at that time. So we can use artwork to pull the colours from the bed together, or we can actually use our throws and our cushions to do that. One thing that people ask me quite a lot when I'm decorating in their homes is to help them to create a focal point at their bed head. And the way that we do that is through lamps. Lamps that are medium or small in size just don't carry that weight of intention that we like to have in our styling. And so we encourage people to go for a large lamp, about a 50 to 70 centimetre sized lamp, which helps to balance out the bed heads if they are using a bed head, and if they're not, then the artwork becomes bed head, and then lamps on either side on the bedside tables. And these substantial size lamps actually really carry some weight. They help the focus point be at the head of the bed, and they help the room to be really interesting. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Renee Lazarow and I work for Boutique Yellow, which can be found on Facebook and online. This is part of our winter series where we're doing a range of small workshops designed to help people be creative in their own homes. As we're in winter, it's nice to start thinking about how we can look forward to colour returning to our lives and the sunshine coming back, the warmth and friends and family again. And so this season is a really good time to start being creative with little things that we have in our own homes that will help to refresh us and help us get organised and intentional about the time that we're about to walk into. It's a hopeful time because we know that we love spring and summer and that there's good things ahead. Thanks for joining me.